So good morning, everybody. As we normally do every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, the Crest Network, Bill Giannone and myself, and often Scott Tarpley will present a webinar. I always do the first Tuesday of the month. And so today we're going to talk about updating and using your LinkedIn social media account. One of the things that I preach and teach, and for those of you that have attended the Restoration Marketing Specialist certification course, those that we've done over the last several months, and we've got another one of those coming up in August in Orlando. I do beat the drum pretty loudly on the importance for marketers to utilize LinkedIn. It's a huge, powerful medium for you to connect with prospects and clients. So let's see if we can move this presentation here. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm going to provide you with a whole series of tips and tricks. It will be a challenge for you to follow. I'm going to show you clips on the screen and direct your attention to certain areas. But there's no way, even if you're 150 words a minute typist, you can't record and write everything down. You'll certainly never be able to remember it. So as I said a minute ago, if you want another link, or you want to see this again or several times, just shoot me an email and I'll send you the YouTube link. It'll be on later this afternoon. First and foremost, I can't tell you how many people I connect with that don't have a complete profile. And in fact, many of them, I have several thousand connections on LinkedIn. Probably half of them don't have only about 25% of their profile completed. So when you log into LinkedIn, up in the upper right-hand corner, it will say edit your public profile and your URL. In other words, your website. Put your website address in there. And I have been asked why this is such a big deal. The short answer is, as a business person, as a marketer especially, the one thing that is really vital, it's so important for you, is the ability to walk into any prospect or client and have some trust, have some credibility. I guarantee you, after you are in there and visit a prospect or a client, they're going to Google you and they're going to check out your LinkedIn profile and they're going to learn stuff about you. And so it's really important that you pay close attention to what your profile says. And my slides aren't moving properly here. There we go. So there is also a featured section. I added this in just this morning because it hit me that I had failed to do this. It isn't in the perfect location in the series or sequence of slides, but I did not want to forget it and time was running out. There is what's called a featured section on your profile, and this featured area is where you can write and post, I'm going to call them blog articles. The ones that I have, and I probably have several dozen blog articles on here, these are easily articles that you already have written and already posted on your website. I hope you have a blog section on your website, and assuming that you do, you can go in there and copy and paste half of your blog article on to LinkedIn into the featured area. You can add in the title, you can add in a graphic or a picture, and you can even add in the link to where your website has that particular article. And what I do, because I want people to go to my website, I only give them half the article. And then at the bottom of the article, I say, click here to see the rest of the article or to read the rest of the article. And when they click here, it takes them to that page on my website. As is my goal, it should be your goal, that you want them to spend a little time on your website. Your website is where the valuable information is that expands and enhances your credibility. There is also, and I added this morning too, realizing that I had failed to put this on, there's an activity section. And an activity section is where you can make a comment or you can post an inspiration picture, or you can see what others have posted and share it or like it or comment on it. And you might say, well, why should you do that? What's the point? It isn't the same as Facebook. Facebook, as you can imagine, as you already know, Facebook is really often very personal. It can be very emotional. It can be offensive. There are lots of what we refer to as trolls on Facebook that are just looking to poke a sharp stick in your eye and provide sarcasm and all other kinds of things. LinkedIn is generally not like that. LinkedIn is generally a business social media site, and people I appreciate when I post an article or a picture or a comment. I appreciate when someone says, hey, great thought, Dick. That's a brilliant idea. Loved your article. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Or, hey, Dick, had you ever considered this? That's meaningful. It tells me they're seeing it, they're reading it, they're commenting on it, they're engaged, they recognize me, they recognize my name. And so as I'm encouraging you to complete your profile, get engaged on the activities, get involved, read the stream of posts and articles and comments, and it elevates your credibility. So let's get back into, I got sidetracked there for a couple slides, but now I'm jumping back in. I want you in your engagement on LinkedIn to connect with people that you simply want in your circle, that you want in your network, that you want to have some sort of a connection or a relationship with, for all of the reasons that I have here. Great networking opportunities. The more people are connected with you, the more it builds your personal brand. And I don't mean the brand of your company specifically. I'm really mostly in talking about your personal brand. Sure, we all work for a company and we want to expand that company brand, logo, recognition, but we also need to have our own personal brand. And that's not necessarily a thought-provoking logo. It's just name recognition. It's credibility. It's being recognized on the internet. Great short example. I was in Orlando a week or so ago at the RIA conference. We were in one of the bars in the Gaylord Palms, just having a drink and some snacks one late afternoon, and there was somebody else had invited a lady to sit at the table with us. And when I saw her name badge, I recognized her and knew her name, and realized that I had read many, many, many of her articles. And so as we broke up and everybody left and we were headed to dinner, I went over to her side of the table and introduced myself. And she looked up at me and she said, "Oh my God, I have heard so much about you over the years, but I have never met you. It's so nice to meet you." You see, she, just like me, had been reading my articles. I'd been reading hers. We had name recognition between the two of us, but we had never met. So it was not awkward or uncomfortable as I introduced myself. I didn't have to explain who I was or what I did or any of that. She instantly knew. And that's part of you building your own personal brand. Another really important reason why you want to be really involved and engaged on LinkedIn is because when someone searches your name, almost guarantee that Google is going to bring you up and give your LinkedIn profile for your name, almost guaranteed. And that's who people are going to click on. So you really want a complete profile. When you're searching other people, and you should be doing that for every single client or prospect that you plan to visit or call on, you should be doing some research and intel, and LinkedIn is a perfect place to do some simple, basic research and some intel. People you want to connect into your circle is really important. So here's a screenshot of my network. And when you go to my network, top center of the screen here, it will bring up, if you scroll down just a little bit, it will bring up first people in your local community, and then it'll bring up some people that you could follow. Often those are national or international celebrities. But then as you keep scrolling down, it will give you options of people that you could connect with. And so, they make it really easy. If you want to connect with this guy, Tyrone Thomas, don't know who he is, but that was a name provided. All you got to do is click on the connect button. If you want to connect with Janessa Lido, who's an account manager with Paul Davis Restoration, you click the connect button. It gives you then an option to type a personal message if you want, and you should if you can, but it makes it really, really easy to connect. Literally, LinkedIn looks at your profile, looks at the type of business and industry you're in, and then LinkedIn provides you a whole bunch of connection options for you to click on. Can't get any easier than that. You notice here, because I'm in the restoration industry, most of the names that are provided here to connect are related in one way or other to the restoration industry. They don't give me dentists. If my wife was if she was looking at her LinkedIn account, she's in the dental world, she would be given a whole bunch of dental people. And so that's the other reason why you want your profile to be fully completed, because it'll give you options of people within your circle or within your industry to consider connecting with. I want to stress this. I took a whole slide, a whole screen here to remind you of this. I learned the hard way 10 years ago. When you invite 20 people, the reality is that if you don't personally know those 20 people, only 6 or 8 or 10 of them will go ahead and connect with you. That means that maybe 50% of them did not. The better you do at sending them a personal message along with that invite, the higher percentage of those you invite will actually connect with you. But remember, for the lifetime of your engagement on LinkedIn, you are only given by LinkedIn 3,000 total invites. In other words, let me simplify this. If in the first year or 2 or 3, you just invite everybody to connect with you, and you burn through your 3,000, you're done. Whatever you have, 100, 200, 400, 900, whatever you ended up getting lucky enough to connect with, that's all you will ever connect with, unless they send you an invite themselves. So LinkedIn doesn't want you to get burned and consume all 3,000 if half of them never connected with you. So they give you an option to withdraw those invites that don't connect with you. And I recommend that you go in once a week to see who connected with you, and the ones that did not connect with you after 7 days, that's long enough. You've been patient enough. Go ahead and withdraw the invite. By withdrawing the invite, it gives you back the ability to invite again them or other people. And so if you've invited 3,000 people and only 1,500 connected with you, and you withdraw the other 1,500, usually you're doing that 1 or 2 at a time, now you still have 1,500 remaining. It's just a word of caution to you. I learned the hard way a long time ago, many years ago, and I personally wrote to the administration of LinkedIn. That was before they were owned by Microsoft. and pleaded my case, and they granted me 3,000 more invites. So fortunately, I was able to convince them. They may not do that with you. Remember, since you're only allotted 3,000 total, if you've invited them and they haven't, this one's 2 days ago, okay, I've already now, and this was several weeks ago, I've already gone in and withdrawn my invite to those that did not connect with me. I took them back. I took those invites back, and that keeps my allotment up there and I don't burn through them. I recommend that you update and engage with your connections often, regularly. Find reasons to comment. Here's something that a lady by the name of Meg Pittman, somebody that I know in the carpet world, and she's actually been a friend for 20 years as well. And she posted this related to what Shaw Industries was doing. Shaw is the carpet people, as you probably know. And so she posted that and I clicked like. That's just simply acknowledging that I saw it and letting her know that I'm one of, in this case, 192 people that engaged with her by clicking like or thumbs up or clapping their hands or whatever. Over here on the left, I highly recommend that where appropriate and when you can, you give kudos. You just click when you're on the person's profile, you click give kudos and it gives them recognition, kudos. Don Bannister is one of the most recent SCRT board members representing one of the California board or one of the California chapters of the SCRT. And so I went in and gave him kudos as a recognition. It's easy to do. LinkedIn makes all of this easy to do, and you should engage. It elevates your credibility. It elevates your believability. Okay. I also, and I've done this from way, way, way back early on, I have asked for recommendations. This is a case of where somebody that knows me, somebody that's attended one of the classes that I was teaching, somebody that I've been coaching. It could be lots of different, somebody that I worked with, somebody that worked with me. Usually people don't just go and give a recommendation without giving them a little nudge. As you can see here, I have given 16 recommendations. I have received 59 written recommendations. I have 3 recommendation requests right now that I have to go back into today or tomorrow and respond. And if appropriate, I'll give them a written recommendation. But it's extremely valuable. Remember, people want to check you out. They're going to Google you. LinkedIn is going to bring up your profile. And one of the things that people are going to look at is, are they Are they credible? Are they believable? And look at, look at the comments. I I don't want to read all of them. I don't want to make a big deal about it. But here's an adjuster with uh, an insurance company. Here's a public adjuster. Uh, Here's somebody that I worked with many years ago in competing or side by side industries. Here's somebody that I coach, and so um, I highly recommend that if someone knows you and knows you really well, that you reach out to them and ask them for a written recommendation. And when they get it and they send it to you and you don't like it, you don't have to uh, you don't have to accept it. But if it, if it's got a misspelled word or whatever, okay, whatever, no big deal. But people aren't going to give you a recommendation and say you're a jerk. So just about literally of 59 recommendations that I've received, I have accepted 59 recommendations. Nobody writes stuff inappropriate. Um, so anyway, let me click one past here. So now on your recommendations, you will see when you go there, you'll see right here, it says ask for recommendations. Please do that. It will enhance your credibility. It will elevate your the trust factor when people, if they don't know you and they're considering doing business with you, and they literally don't know you, don't know anything about you, and you don't have any recommendations, do they really know? Boy, do they really know? So when you have the recommendations, it changes all of that. It gives you credibility. When you get a new connection, I encourage you to send them a personal message thanking them. Here's somebody with PuroClean. She recently connected with me. She's right here. It says first. So we're a first connection. When she connected with me after my invite, I went in and I typed her a personal message. Now, I recommend you type this out and save it someplace so you can just copy and paste it in. But I give her my phone number and I give her the 2 websites that I hope that she will go and visit. Ruben Spilkin, he's also a first. He's with Paul Davis, North San Diego County. Again, thanks for the connection. It's the exact same message, but they receive that within hours usually or a day of them connecting with me. So I encourage you to do that. It's just an additional personal touch. Otherwise they don't have any relationship to you other than the connection, and it just sits there and it's kind of dry and nothing's happening. I also encourage you to use the learning section. I am astounded at how much information LinkedIn has in their learning section. And here, I'll just rattle off a few of them. Expert tips for answering common interview questions. It's a whole course. LinkedIn quick tips. What I'm showing you here, geez, you can get even more by going to quick tips. Understanding intellectual property. It's a whole course. Leading productive one-on-one meetings. They're teaching you that. You want to know about Photoshop? There's literally a step-by-step course. If you're a premium member, in other words, paying 25 bucks a month or whatever it is, as I am, that's all free and all available to you at no charge. Right here, go to LinkedIn Learning, and it's there. Just ask Todd Duet on management and leadership. Folks, there is so much learning on LinkedIn and the LinkedIn Learning section that you could spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours and not even make a dent in it. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Don't get consumed for hours, but pick a topic that's important to you that you'd like to know more about, and then go in and learn it. Start taking the course. Okay. You should also follow groups. Obviously, I follow the SCRT. I follow a particular public adjuster. He has a very active website and Facebook page and LinkedIn account, and I follow ICRS. I follow the IICRC. I want to know what's going on there. As president of the SCRT right now, I am also the designated shareholder representative for the IICRC. So I'm attending those board meetings every month with the IICRC shareholder group. Matterport I follow. I want to know what's going on Matterport. And then, of course, I follow my own website and engagement on the blog, Facebook, LinkedIn, and so forth. You should pick 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 at the most groups to follow. And then when the information lands in the news feed from one of them, or when one of them posts, it will land in your news feed. It's a great way to engage, to know what's going on without having to remember. I encourage you to participate in groups. Participate. I talked here about following groups. I encourage you to join certain groups on LinkedIn. And when you join, then participate. Do something on there. Post an article, post a comment on someone else's article or post. But engage, interact, especially if you're following and joining groups related to the restoration industry. Now you are elevating your recognition and credibility. Selfishly, I want you to follow Aztec Wagner, follow CREST, Society of Cleaning and Restoration Technicians. I certainly want you to follow. But some of the groups that you could consider, I also put that up here on the screen. Disaster rest. There are so many. Your head will explode trying to consider them all. Disaster restoration professionals. There's 19,000 members. Disaster restoration, large loss commercial drying, restoration marketing, disaster restoration marketing, disaster restoration, Hurricane Harvey and Irma, which was 2 years ago. That's probably the new one coming on is Hurricane Elsa, which I thought I might not be able to do this morning because I'm in South Florida, and we were pretty sure we were going to get hammered today. And fortunately, it skirted out into the Gulf away from us. So we, at least here on the Gulf side in Cape Coral, we skated out of that one. I would encourage you to go search for social media for contractors. That's the logo right there in the lower left. And social media for contractors, once again, my very selfish plug, I own that group. I created that group several years ago. There's only about 100 members. It is by invite only, so you can request to join, but we post periodic information, and many of the members post periodic information on that group about things related to social media and related to restoration contractors. So I certainly would send that invite out to all of you to go in there and connect with that. I want to remind you that if someone communicates with you, they send you a personal message, even if you don't know them, respond to everyone that communicates with you. It would be like walking down the sidewalk towards someone. You get within a few feet of each other, and the other person says, "Hey, how you doing today?" And you ignore them and walk right on by without a comment. That would be considered rude. It is considered rude when someone communicates with you on LinkedIn that you fail to respond. Now, if they're a solicitor, if they're sending you something saying, I get these, hey, Dick, would sure love to connect with you. And, I was looking at your website and I sure would like an opportunity to quote you on search engine optimization. Well, my first instinct is bug off, leave me alone. I do my own SEO. But I politely and graciously say, thanks, we handle that in-house. At least I responded. I didn't say, bug off, you jerk, but I wanted to, but I didn't. And so please don't be rude. Take the time to respond to everybody that attempts to interact with you. As you know, SlideShare used to be a standalone company. SlideShare now is owned by LinkedIn, which of course in turn is owned by Microsoft. But I encourage you to post a video or a SlideShare, a PowerPoint on there, on here on LinkedIn. Certainly a short video is the best way to separate yourself from the competitors out there. I recommend that your short video is no more than 60 to 90 seconds, unless it's a really good, steady, clear, animated, or really engaged video. You can probably get 3 or 4 minutes, but 60 to 90 seconds is the ideal time for length of time to post a short video. I would strongly encourage that you create your own, and you can do that with a Zoom account in front of your camera on your computer or your laptop. You can do that from your phone, simply holding your phone up in front of you, or on a little tripod. You can buy a tripod at Best Buy for $19.95 to keep it straight and steady. But short video, people love video. People are fanatics about watching video. I encourage you to do that. Put it in on your web or on your LinkedIn account, so that when someone goes to your name, out of curiosity, they click on that short video and see who you are, what you look like, what you sound like, what you're saying, to see if they can comfortably in their head go, oh yeah, they're credible, they're believable. You can promote your blog site on your website, or on, excuse me, you can promote your blog site on LinkedIn. I recommend that you write blog articles and post them on your blog site / website, which is the norm. I recommend that you write a blog article, or somebody write a blog article every week or two. I'm writing 2 to 3 blog articles a week. Some go on AskDickWagner.com, some go on the Crest Network, some go on CrestLibrary.com, but I'm writing 2, 3, 4 blog articles a week. Every once in a while, about every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I want to post one of those on LinkedIn. So I go through the list and see what I recently wrote that would be a good actionable topic to post on LinkedIn. And I copy 50% of the article, post it on LinkedIn. I add a graphic or a picture like this one here, as you can see, a picture of a lady. This one, by the way, if you look right here below her picture, 16 views of that article. 16 people have read that. Interestingly enough, 16 of them also clicked on the link at the bottom and went and read the rest of the article on my blog site, because we have Google Analytics to tell us how many people went into that article from LinkedIn, from that link on LinkedIn. So it's valuable information, and it tells me what the engagement was. Please post some of your blog articles on LinkedIn from your website. And let's click one more here. There we go. I talked about using LinkedIn Learning a few slides ago, and I added this slide in because there, as I said a few minutes ago, there is so much information. Just something as crazy and simple as computer and text neck stretching exercises. How to sell with empathy during the uncertain times. And I read that, and it was related to the pandemic, is the uncertain times. Folks, there is so much information on there. I go to LinkedIn every single day when I sit down at my computer. Sometime during the day, I'm on LinkedIn, sometimes many times a day. So remember, your LinkedIn profile should shine as your personal brand website. Many of your prospects are going to do research. They're going to Google your name once they know your name. That could be because you sent them an invite. That could be because you tried to connect with them on Facebook. That could be that they want to check you out because you have your own Twitter account. And another great way is, especially if you're a premium LinkedIn user and you're paying the monthly fee for it, you get, I believe, 15 emails, or the ability to send up to 15 in-mails, rather. In-mails as in internal LinkedIn emails. That's the option. And you can, somebody that you're not connected with, but you'd like to be, or you want to reach out to them and say, hey, Bob, I see that you work for XYZ company, and I'd like so much to engage with or meet the owner on LinkedIn. Is there any way that you could introduce me to so and so if they're already connected with them? That's another way that you can use InMail on LinkedIn. Important. This is extremely important. Your LinkedIn account, your LinkedIn profile, these are yours. They are not your employer's. Your employer certainly, they don't have the right to force you to change anything. Now, if you went in there and said, yeah, I'm working for XYZ company and they really suck and I sure want to get out of this company fast, your employer might, they see that, they probably just going to fire you. You'll get out of there real fast. But remember that your account and your profile, it's yours. It's your domain. It's where your resume resides. It's where you talk about who you are, what you do, all the great things about you, where you get recommendations, where you get endorsements. It's where you are able to tell people about what you do for them. You should be able to, and you should be choosing the content that you want to publish. Again, it's your profile, it's your account. And please don't make this mistake. Don't create a LinkedIn profile, or if you have one right now, don't use your company email address. Why? Because if you quit or get fired and your employer immediately shuts down your company email address, you can't get in anymore. Please, if you are currently using a company email address as the email associated with your account, go in and change it to a personal Gmail or Yahoo address or something like that. If you own the business, fine, you can use your company one, but that's really only if you own it. Okay. So I hope this has been extremely valuable to you. I'm Dick Wagner. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that if you need more information, you'll reach out to me, shoot me an email and say, hey, send me that YouTube link as soon as you have it. I'm more than happy to do that. So once again, thank you so much. I see you do have a couple comments on here. Thanks, Bess. You really should only have one account. That question was asked by Maggie. Navigator, yes, Navigator is an excellent. I didn't get into that, but another great way. Take advantage of that. Navigator. I believe there are some fees associated with it, but it's still great. So thank you all. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.